Hi everyone, my name is Priyal Makreja and I'm a Senior Data Manager at DOMC Rutgers University. In this video, we'll be going over the standard operating procedure for samples taken out for testing or shipping. This is a brief overview for the site. DOMC Data Manager will be sharing a pull list with the site that will look like this. The pull list will include information like PID, sample name, sample type, aliquot ID, barcode, freezer, box, level 1 to 5, and position. This will help the site staff to basically first locate and separate the samples physically in a temporary freezer box. Concurrently, they have to update this information on Freezer Pro. Let's look at the steps on Freezer Pro. On Freezer Pro, the site staff will be using the samples taken out for testing freezer that will be created by the DOMC Data Manager. And under this, they will be naming the freezer box as per the naming convention that includes date underscore site underscore sample type underscore purpose underscore study name. This naming convention is similar to the naming convention of the pull list that will be shared. The samples will be moved using the scan and move function. Suppose I have to move my sample here. I will select and right click, use scan and move function, and move the sample. There can be a special case when you're using a portion of the sample and not using all of the sample. In that case, suppose this is the sample of which you're using a portion of the sample. You will be copying the sample, going to the temporary freezer that you've created, selecting and right-clicking the empty dwell location, creating derivative, selecting these two options, that is copy user-defined field, and subtract volume from the master sample. Basically, input the volume of the sample that you're using for testing. Let's say we're using 2 ml of the sample for testing. So the 2 ml sample of the sample has been used and the information is updated here. Physically in the freezer, the location of the sample will remain same. Now let's talk about filling up the log. Once you have completed moving all your samples from the pull list in this particular box, you will be filling up the log. Once the samples have been moved to the samples taken out for testing or shipping freezer in Freezer Pro, the site staff will be filling out columns E and F and informing the DOMC Data Manager via email. The DOMC Data Manager will be confirming that the samples that have been moved to the samples taken out for testing or shipping freezer are correct samples and match the pull list. They will be filling out the columns G and H. Once the DOMC Data Manager has filled out columns G and H, site staff can finally move ahead with testing or shipping. After the samples have been tested or shipped, they'll be filling out the columns I and J and informing the DOMC Data Manager via email. That is the last step. Thank you everyone for watching.